Imagine managing hundreds of documents in SharePoint without lifting a finger. Sounds impossible? Well, not anymore. With AI actions in SharePoint Document Libraries, automation is here to make your life easier. And that's exactly what we're going to be looking at today. Microsoft has been pushing AI deep into its ecosystem, and SharePoint is no exception. We've seen the SharePoint Page Agent, which we covered in a recent video, which is linked down in the description. We've also seen the SharePoint Knowledge Agent, which we will look at today. That's going to be rolled out to everyone in early 2026. So what do AI actions do? Well, coupled with the SharePoint Knowledge Agent, we can perform document summaries, we can ask questions of our documents, we can extract metadata and place them into SharePoint columns. We can also build agents from them, reason over a large amount of data quickly and easily, and make quick business decisions. It's like having a virtual assistant right inside your SharePoint document library. Think about compliance checks. AI actions could scan through a list of documents and look for potentially sensitive information. Or imagine uploading a batch of reports and having Copilot summarize the data into a single table for you. There are many, many use cases. But today we're going to look at a real world use case that Igloo themselves solved internally using AI actions. You know the deal. Let's head on over to the computer and take a look. So, as I said, this was a use case that we had recently. We had an open position that we were advertising for, and we received a lot of CVs. The problem is, when you receive a lot of CVs, you've got to kind of pour through them. You want to compare one versus the other, or you want to kind of summarize that to see who's got the relevant skills. Doing that manually before AI actions was kind of difficult, and it was kind of cumbersome. So what I've done here, I've put together a SharePoint document library, and I've uploaded some fictional CVs for our mobile dog grooming business that you should all know by now. I've uploaded these ready into my library, and they're ready for analysis. You'll see in my document library, I have this AI actions tab. If I don't have a document selected, the only option I get is to create an agent. So I can create an agent if I want to give custom instructions for how I want to interact with these documents. I'm not going to do that in this video. But what I'm going to show you is the different contexts in which I can use this. So I've got a single document selected here. If I click on my AI actions, it gives me a few different options. So if I want, I can summarize the document. So let's take a look. And their Copilot is summarizing Emily Barker's CV for me. Okay, she's applied for the position of mobile dog groomer. There's her personal profile, her key skills, work experience. Okay, that's a pretty good summary. If I want, I can ask a question. Does she have a clean driving license? I can actually see she does up here, but I'm asking the question anyway. Yep, she holds a full clean driving license in Ireland. That's perfect. That's great. Okay, I'm going to close that down. I'm going to look at something next. I can create an FAQ. Probably not the use case for a CV, but under certain circumstances, you could select a single document or a group of documents and ask it to create an FAQ for you. I can create an audio overview if I want as well.
This audio summary highlights the qualifications and experience of Emily Barker based on Emily's application for the mobile dog groomer position, devoted to dog grooming.
Okay, that's not bad. That was a pretty good audio description. I am a fan of this, and we are starting to see that roll out across more of the M365 ecosystem. So next option on my list is ask a question. We have already seen that, so I'm not going to cover that again. If I select two documents, I will get slightly different options. So I can summarize, I can compare the files. Let's take a look at that and see what that does. And we can see it's pulling together a summarized table of these two. So we've got Sophie and Emily. Both have the same surname. Interesting. Spoiler alert, I actually used Copilot to generate dummy CVs for me, and it actually did a really good job. I gave it minimal information. I said, create some CVs for the mobile dog grooming business, come up with some education and background and qualifications, and it did a really, really good job. So there I've got a comparison table, so I can kind of look at the two and decide what I'm going to do with those two CVs. I'm going to close that down. What I'm now going to do I am going to open up the SharePoint Knowledge Agent. You'll see that's sitting over in the bottom right-hand corner there. I can ask a question. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask a question and I'm going to interact with Copilot. I'm going to have a conversation with it and we'll see where we get to. I'm going to say, order these applicants in order of experience, highest first. What Copilot's going to do is going to reason over all of the documents in this library. It's going to analyze it. It's going to look at their experience and hopefully it will rank them for me. Okay, here is our answer. So we've got Emily, then we've got Sophie, Rowan, Jamie, Alex. Sophie's listed at the bottom there. Experience mentioned, but no specific duration provided. That's really good. Would you also like me to include qualifications and certifications? Yes. Copilot is very good at understanding the context. You don't need to say, yes, please include the qualifications and certifications if it's prompted you with that question. Okay. So I've got a summary. I have experience. I've got qualifications. I've got additional skills. It's really, really useful if I want to kind of get a feeling for the applicants that I've had. It's even given me a summary. Emily Barker stands out as the most experienced and highly qualified candidate. Sophie Hartley and Rowan Ellis follow closely with strong certifications. I didn't actually ask for that. I didn't say, give me a recommendation, but it kind of did anyway. It understood what I was trying to do. It knew I was selecting a candidate for a job. So it's offered that information up to me. And that actually is the kind of thing that you would actually want. So for Copilot to do that without you even asking is amazing. It read my mind, create a comparison table. Those who've watched videos before know I love to have data summarized within tables. So yes, create a comparison table for me. Fantastic. It's done that and it's given me some observations as well. Emily Barker leads with the most experience and strong qualifications. Here I've only got 6 CVs. Imagine if I had 60 or 100 or 150. Pouring through each of those and kind of screening them would take a lot of time. Using this kind of functionality, maybe developing a custom agent over the top means I could just upload those CVs, ask questions, I could quickly screen them out and maybe get the top 10 out of 60 candidates, maybe the top 5. And I can use AI just to kind of help me to get to a better decision more quickly. Now that's great. I've got 6 documents listed here for one particular position. What if I had 100? What if I had 150? What if I had 200? And I kept all of my CVs over time. I did want to build up a CV library. Yes, absolutely. I can come in here, I can use Copilot and I can kind of ask it questions. But what if I wanted to kind of add metadata about those documents to columns within the library so I can visually sort, group, filter and quickly summarize data without even having to engage Copilot itself or open a document? Well, that's exactly what the knowledge agent can do. So I'm going to open that back up. I'm going to ask it to organize this library and I'm going to just ask it to suggest 3 columns based on the files in my library. And it suggested a summary of their experience, their key skills, and their highest qualifications. They're good options. If I wanted, I could show their location, I could show email addresses, I could show the position that they applied for. But here I'm going to go with those suggestions and we'll see how that looks. I'm going to say, save the changes, save to the current view. Yes, please. And then we'll see the autofill activity has started to kick in. And within a few short moments, it will extract that data from those documents and populate these columns for me. Okay, that took around a minute or so while that ran. But if I just close down that tab there, you can see it's added in the metadata columns for me. The great thing is if I upload CVs in the future, the auto columns will be auto extracted and I can kind of populate that data as I go. I could then kind of search, group, filter those documents based on the metadata. AI actions, I'm seriously impressed. So to wrap up, AI actions in SharePoint Document Libraries aren't just a cool feature, they're a productivity powerhouse. By automating routine tasks, improving accuracy and integrating with Copilot, these tools allow you to focus on what matters most, delivering business value. If you haven't explored AI in SharePoint yet, now is the perfect time to start. And if you do have any questions or you'd like to talk to an expert, do check out our website. It is linked down in the description. Fill out that contact form and we'd love to talk to you.